So if you haven't seen, gosh, if you haven't seen for a couple of days now, Ali has put up another shocking, cryptic, so inspirational, quick tweet about how he's gonna be himself and he's gonna fight against the system, and he's not gonna be remarkable. He's not gonna be actually be a superstar. Bravo. And of course, I'm not pretending, acting like that, the man doesn't have potential that we haven't seen before. I've seen it, and y'all seen it, of what he can do. But this whole, I'm gonna fight against the system and right the wrongs. Like, this whole act is it's seriously laughably tired. It's all fake. I've stuck up before him in the past. This not his first time, and it's just multiple times, of him just having issues with WWE. As I was saying, so I've spoke just like myself. I've spoken up many times, and I've noticed, and I've talked about. If you want to go back, also, of course, I've talked about them many times, and the multiple times that he's had issues, within WWE, of course, with the higher ups, and them not getting along. Like, I was with that, but for him to say this now, because of course it looks like he's coming back, not with Triple H in charge, but for him to say that, like, not that these days Triple H looks for character and charisma anymore, so he might be behind it. But for him to just completely make himself look like a fool with that tweet, that's the reason why. Like I'm sick of the whole. Like I said, I've spoken up against that, and I've get the mistreatment. I've done my research, and whether it's just been current and past wrestlers, like this has always happened and been a thing when Vince was in charge, that he's had issues with many wrestlers, and Mustafa Ali is no different. But for him to just that he doesn't want to be marketable, like I said, I get being yourself, but not wanting to be marketable and engaging and relating to the audience. That's gonna drop your stock. Like, that's gonna hurt your stock, my brother. And it's like, you're only gonna be hurting yourself, even so, by saying that. Even though you got your little soldiers to pipe you up, also support, but it's like, they're not the majority. They're just there to just so they can get their brownie points and get out. Especially nowadays, that's what it's about. People want to go viral and get noticed off of others and off of the ideal of being in the open, whether it makes them look like a doofus or not. And I'm going to talk about this too, more so, because I've been waiting to, but this is why I'm sick of. This is why I'm sick. And I'm just so tired. I'm so sick of these current generation wrestlers. And they just prove wrestlers like Brock Lesnar and RVD, because they talked about it this well. They talked about this as well. RVD, Randy Orton, Kurt Angle, of course, The Undertaker. Like, y'all proving his points. Their points in Undertaker when he called y'all the way he said, like these wrestlers now, they just don't get it. And it's like because they have that whole mentality, and it's being in the society now of where they want, give me everything. gimme, gimme, gimme. I don't want to work for this. I want to make excuses here and there. And I mean, you're not going to work on your character, you as a wrestler. That's why wrestling has got even more so worse. Shit, at least wrestlers like The Miz and Dolph Ziggler, when they first started out, in the PG era, they were like, they were working on themselves, and it's like they didn't were on Twitter, even like, of course they are, they like to they're still all over Twitter, but like as far as like still like blatantly going out of your way to like basically throw shot, Dolph and Miz, wrestlers like The Miz and Dolph, they weren't doing that. And it's like you got wrestlers like Owens, you got like, his I own a hot dog stand, Fatty Owens. Like he wants to like wrestler like Ali and Owens, instead of working on themselves and creating something that they're of their own character, they're all over Twitter, slashing and throwing shade and arguing with fans. And it's like, seriously? And it's like you're going to try to blame and just all. If it's not that, then you got wrestlers like Ali, whether they blame the fans or they blame the company that they're in for the shortcomings of what they're not doing to work on for themselves. Like, this is what I'm sick of. I can't take it no more. And it's like, oh man, it's like you can make any excuse to do that, to not do what you're supposed to be doing. And it's like, yeah, the man does have. It's not Ali. He has extreme potential, and he's shown it. But to play this character too of how one man against the system, and that he like try to pretend and act like, that it's not entirely himself too. That's the problem. That's the problem with wrestlers like him. They rather argue and cry all over social media and beg about how they're not doing this or that, or they're not giving this, instead of actually working on it. Like wrestlers like Stone Cold actually did. Instead of bitching, he put all that anger and fire into his promos too, and he talked about it. He put that in a story. They've combined that with story. Instead of just bitching and moaning about it, they worked on it, and they've seen their climb, and it rewarded them. But you have such a generation that so is like, oh, I deserve this. Yeah, like, can you give me this, please? You have the result of what you have today. But it's WWE's fault. It's all of WWE's fault, right?